Hey everybody, this is Khara Crosswhite Brindle. Welcome back to another video. I have three amazing colleagues, familiar faces to all of you as you watch the videos on our channel. I have Liliana, Jen, and Alex with us. Say good morning.
Morning.
We're going to start conversation today with a little bit of a heavier topic, which you know we're always game for. So the title of this video is Navigating the Naysayers and Negativity. So what the heck's that going to be about? Well, most of you who identify as leaders know that when we put ourselves out there, that there's more stuff that comes back to us, more energy, more comments, more things that show up. And so because I have these amazing leaders here on this video, we're going to talk about what that looks like and what you can do about it to not let it get under your skin. So let's talk about some examples, if the three of you are willing, on what naysaying sounds like, what negativity feels like. Anyone willing to throw some out there for viewers?
Yeah, the one that I got recently was, "What are you doing now?" And it's
The
that
emphasis.
yeah, what are you doing now? And you can tell by the nonverbals what they mean with the now. It's not like, "Ooh, what are you doing now?" No, it's like, "What are you doing now?" And it's like, really, you get that undertone of almost like disapproval or kind of like judgment with that statement. And one of the things I tend to do is just smile back and show my excitement. And because for me, a pivot is such a great opportunity to, number one, grow, evolve, make more money, and just get out of the structure of the boredom. It's just something different. And so I was like, oh yeah, I got this great opportunity, to go train in Baltimore with the FBI. Oh, yeah. And so it's like, yeah, it's super exciting. I didn't expect this. It just kind of fell in my lap. And so I kind of I turned it, instead of letting it turn me down, I kind of turned it into a cheerleading moment.
Mm-hmm.
And let my smile and my enthusiasm be my spirit fingers, if you may, to hopefully get some of this. You can get inspired. You can get inspired, or you can learn from other people's pivots and other people's opportunities and openness to evolve. So so I turn it into a learning moment, if you may. And when it comes from close peers or colleagues, it kind of does seem like an ouch, but then I address it. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I get excited for it and try to project positivity towards them as well. And you can do it too. So,
Mhm. I love that. So I think you've made a really important distinction for Jen and Liliana, if you want to share around when this comes from colleagues versus like strangers, because I feel like
right.
there's a different dynamic that happens when we have someone we know saying, "What are you doing now?" as just one example, versus a stranger accusing us of something or whatnot. So, what are
I
your
think
thoughts?
there's a difference, right? Because when it's a stranger, like we don't care. It's easy
Mhm.
just to shake it off.
Yeah.
But when it's a colleague or someone that you are considering a friend, like we're in that dance, and then they start putting you down or questioning you. And the first, and let's name it, it's not easy just to put it down.
Mhm.
So then you start questioning yourself. What am I doing? That I did something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go for me, the very common thing, as Alex shared, that was because I have too many credentials. Like, what credential are you getting now?
Mhm.
Like, it's that thing. Or when I share, and I had not made this public, but fuck it, that I went back in to get my PhD. Man, I got so much crap for going back. So from names to put downs. So what I have learned, or how I deal with it, is one, it's natural to question yourself, to go to that space, but it's becoming easier and easier to shake it off.
Mhm.
So what I'm learning is that my circle is getting smaller,
Yeah.
um, and that I don't share my accomplishment or what I'm doing with the masses anymore. So all of you know, because I will text you right away, like, this is what's happening.
Mhm.
But I tend not to go public as I used to, because um, I don't want to have to hide. I don't want to have to do anything to manage that. So
Right.
turning internal. That's what it is. My introvert is like shining right now.
Well, and based on these experiences, who could blame you for saying, like, I'm going to hold this close to my chest because it seems to invite in criticism when that's not the intention of the sharing, right?
And
Mhm.
there's
That's
a
what's so
difference between
frustrating.
criticism, right? And then the put downs,
Mm-hmm.
because they have the ability of the putting down because they don't believe in themselves, because of their own projections. And that's theirs. And that's what I'm learning, or that's what we're discussing, actually. That's their stuff, not ours. So how do we become aware and then like make the separation between the two? So because of it, I'm like, I don't have to share with you. As a matter of fact, I don't have to share if I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. What about for you, Jen?
The whole sharing thing is a good topic because I am also not great at sharing accomplishments or see, even just now I started to say my accomplishments and I was like, well, it's not really just me, but
Yeah.
I'm very guarded. I'm very afraid of the judgment of, seeming to like I'm bragging or like I'm I don't know, maybe accepting accolades that maybe I don't deserve, or maybe, which it does kind of like mess with my mind because on the other hand, I'm like, no, I know I worked really, really hard for this. I know I worked really hard to like have this set up the way it is. But the things that get to me are, I think I have one person who I feel like they just see this whole business kind of like a hobby, like I'm selling Tupperware or something out of my living room. I'm like, no, this is like a full-fledged business. There's people who work here. There's a whole thing going on. Would you like to stop by and see it? So that's just like kind of a dig that that it's hard for me to shake, and I am learning to, okay, whatever, who cares? But also, I think that I'm guarded in putting stuff out there because, yes, I'm a therapist first. I went into this for a reason. It was to serve and to support and do all of that stuff. But I'm also an entrepreneur, and I also have to look at what's happening from a business point of view. And yes, the goal of any business is to be profitable. Like we should be making money doing this. And so it feels weird to share some of those accomplishments because I do fear the judgment and the criticism of, oh, well, looks like, they're just selling out or they're just, whatever is the case. So I think that does, Alex is really artful in how he shares accomplishments because they're very genuine and they're very authentic. And I read the things he's doing and I'm super excited about it. And there's things I've done that Alex has said, post that, you need to share that. I'm like, I don't know, like in this group or this one or on this page or just my personal page or not at all. Or, so I still really struggle with that, for sure. So
Yeah, it's like these mental acrobatics that we're doing of like anticipating the response, whether it's a colleague, a friend, a family member, a stranger, that if we put it out there in some capacity, someone's going to have something to say. And I don't mean for our viewers to hear like I'm jaded about this, but I know that, this was spurred by having that experience of someone like attacking something that I had created. That felt very out of the blue. And I'd reached out to, to Liliana and Alex and said, oh my God, this just happened. And we processed it, but it felt like a slap to the face, which sometimes that's what this is going to feel like, to have that negativity or that naysaying happen, especially if they start to like dig into your character more than the thing that you're trying to celebrate. Right.
Yeah.
So what are some tools that can help people juggle this? Like knowing it could happen, we can't obviously avoid it completely unless we just go recluse and never talk about any of the things we're doing, which doesn't serve the leadership that you all have. Which is funny. A side note, viewers, I said to all of the people here on this call that they are mental health leaders, and they all went like this. I'm like, no, you're mental health leaders. Whether you want to be or not, you are. So knowing that we can't really go back into our shell, if you will, what are some things that keep us from allowing us to move us into a jaded place or become cynical or become reactive, defensive, anything that we wouldn't really want? What are your
Lizzo
ideas?
and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept singing that song, by the way. When all of us started with this, I was like, that's the song. It's gonna be stuck all day in my head.
Yeah.
But as I said before, like it's not something that you can ignore because we're human.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're also, because we're human, we're trying to belong. So we're trying to look for our group. Right. But Khara, when you send that text, I remember that I said, let's go back to Brenna Brown. That's such a cheap seat. Yeah. And I go back to that mentality now of whoever is giving me criticism, I get to choose if it's something that I can wonder and learn from,
Mhm.
Or if it's a cheap seat, I'm like, I don't have time for you, and you're out.
Yeah.
Or they're
Yeah.
not even in the arena at all, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
also something to like.
That's what I was going to
curious
say.
about.
While we're on Brene, yes, if you have to get in the arena, you have to have the courage to get yourself in the arena, or else you will be stuck in the cheap seats, right? And then I think that that's what leads to some of the naysayers, kind of like I don't know if it's a jealousy or envy, but kind of watching from the sidelines and saying, well, what are you doing now? How did you do
Mm.
that? Like, how did you make that happen? And it's like, because I'm in the arena doing the hard work to make it happen. And you don't see that behind the scenes, and that's okay. But that's how it wasn't just handed to me. So, but you do have to get in the arena, or else, and getting the arena takes risks, and it's scary. Yeah.
And it sucks because we all have failed at something.
Oh yeah.
Right. And when we fail, we're like, high five. We tried it. That did not work out. Let's go do it again.
Yeah.
But it's that mentality.
Yeah.
It's part of entrepreneurship, right? Of like some things work, some things don't. All of us are hustling. And I think that, Jen, that was such an important point that you made of like, there's like this whole story behind the scenes of how these things happen. It's not just like luck, or you wake up one day and you're like, I'm successful in this.
Correct.
It took grit, it took effort. But a lot of people just see the end product and then have those judgments around that. So I'm hearing Brene Brown as a strategy to like keep us grounded around the negativity or naysaying. I feel like humor is another one that all four of us can agree to, of like, how do we like laugh about this, whether it's a song we play or, middle fingers up to everyone or whatever that looks like.
Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, I personally, I use two things. Number one, I go back to the not my chicken. You know what? This is not my chicken. This is not my whatever your insecurity, your projection, your displaced anxiety or your displaced fears is not mine to hold. It's not mine to own. So not my chicken. And if it does hit something, or if it's an ouch, I go back to what Liliana said, have my group of my soul tribe that I can reach out to process and see what's going on, kind of like what we do, and be like, hey, this is what came up for me. And then process it and remember it's not your chicken, and then default to, okay, so what do I need to do to process this energy and get it out? Sometimes it's karaoke in the car with a playlist that says a Lily Allen song, or it can be a Katy Perry song, or whatever song it may be, that's going to really let that flow and get out and release it. I'm not going to hold it. It's not mine. That's yours.
You see how my group is like so polite? I go to the song "I Don't Fuck With You," and that's the song that I put out loud. And let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm walking around the office humming "Somebody's Getting on My Nerves." I don't even know what I don't care what the rest of the song is about. Just probably someone getting on my nerves, and it's okay though. There's a whole song about it. So a lot of people have people getting on their nerves. So yeah, humor is definitely big. Our support system is big. I rely heavily on my colleagues that I've built close relationships with, and honestly, I have different people for different things. So yes, I too have like my go-to soul crew, right? That I would trust to, oh my gosh, I fucked this up so badly. Let me tell you about it, and then you can help me figure out how to get out of it. But that happens all the time. And I think that that's important, that you need that, and to have a safe space for that. Like, again, where you can be really vulnerable and say, yeah, that I really did something. Like, I did a good one. This was really good. Yeah. So because we will, if we're going to take risks, then we're going to lose too. Yeah. We have to. So
I'm hearing like curiosity, connection with others, like the vulnerability of sharing, just to make sure. Like, I mean, I've talked about this as an analogy of like holding up the mirror. So like, I trust you three to be able to hold up the mirror and say, Khara, this is what you look like right now, or this is how you're acting. And so like, if we have a naysayer or a negative interaction, we come to each other and say like, is there anything of truth in this? Is there something I need to think about or adjust or be aware of? Versus Alex, you saying like, let's release that. That's not mine to hold. Can I reject it, shake it off? Can I transform it and put it somewhere else because it's not mine? Which are all valuable strategies to say like, We don't want this to impact us long term. I mean, we are human first. This is Alex's words, right? We're human first, professional second. So this does fucking hurt when this happens. Like,
Yes.
ouch. I mean, ouch is an understatement depending on what it is. So I'm just really grateful that we can talk about this with our colleagues of like, this will happen. And then here are some strategies that might help you, because if we can normalize it now, maybe it will sting just a little bit less for folks that have that happening as they build up really amazing things, right? They jump in that arena and do really hard work. Any final thoughts for viewers on this topic, negativity and naysayers?
It will happen. So make sure that you have the group of people that you can go and rely. Anytime that any of us text each other, I can feel the protection. I can feel my people ready to go and protect me or defend me. And it's a really nice feeling to have that. At the same time, my people are able to hold me liable for whatever I say that I'm doing wrong. And we do it with humor. We do it with kindness. So make sure that you surround yourself with people that you trust, that you can go to in these moments, because it will happen if you're taking high risk. If you're taking any risk, period.
And that would, for me, it would be one of the things that I've learned actually with you, Khara, is that go for a walk and get your playlist on. Get your playlist on. I go for
music
my
therapy.
walk. Yeah, music therapy. You know, Lizzo's "Good as Hell" sometimes has been my hair toss. Look at my nails, be like, heck yeah, I need this right now. Why? Because right now I like Jen said, we've worked hard to accomplish the things we've accomplished. And when somebody comes at us or, you know, projects their stuff or displaces their stuff on us and it lands sometimes, like, no, just dust it off. We need to get ourselves back together again. Sometimes it's that being able to, you know, check in with each other. Like Liliana said, hey, is it me? Is this true? No, it's not. Okay, then I need to go walk and pump myself up again. And whatever that may be, if it's Lizzo, if it's, you know, Taylor Swift, whoever, Madonna, Cher, hey, go do it. Pump yourself up. Yeah, but get it moving.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thought I had is, you know, maybe, you know, if you have ever been in a position of being a naysayer, you know, just the same thing that we tell the, you know, the teenagers that we work with, social media is a snapshot. It's the best snapshot of what's really going on. Like when you post a selfie, did you really just take one selfie and you posted it? No, you took 15 and you picked the best one and you probably edited it, right? So, you know, keep that in mind when you are looking at what other people are posting. And, you know, even if our practices look like, oh my gosh, we're super successful and it's so shiny and everything's going great, we all know that behind the scenes we are dealing with some stuff, right? There are things that, you know, and those are the things that don't get shared and don't get, you know, so we're sharing our highlight reel too, but we're being vulnerable and even sharing that. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe just something to keep in mind. Yes, the things we're sharing are things that we're probably super, super excited or pumped about, or that we think that would really will be helpful. It's not just because, you know,
right. It's not just like, let me pat myself on the back and be a braggart about
validate me. And like, that's not it at all. And that actually kind of like intimidates me. So,
yeah, I love that you named like social media, that snapshot thing, because there is so much going on behind it. So yeah, viewers, hopefully this gives you a chance to think about how this shows up in your life, if it does, or when it does. Much to what we've alluded to here, the more risks you take, the more likely it is that you will experience something like this. But then these strategies of connection, having your group, moving your body, having a playlist. There's a shared playlist between the four of us now, which I love. And I think we all have like picked one song that's like really resonating in that playlist right now that we're like on repeat over and over. Mine is Unstoppable by Sia. So that's mine right now. Plus I hear it, I swear, on the radio every morning. I'm like, all right, message received, like keep going. Or they just horribly don't diversify their music. I'm not sure which, but most people don't even listen to the radio anymore, but I do. So yeah, hopefully this gives you a chance to feel supported by the four of us as we just like bring this out into the open, that it is happening, and also feel hope that it can be manageable if it does happen to you. And I just appreciate the three of you having this conversation with me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Viewers, stay tuned for more videos. I'm sure we'll have more for you coming soon. See you later.